NASCAR 5 starts right now. This weekend, the Cup and Nationwide Series race under the lights at Atlanta Motor Speedway, while the Truck Series races in Canada at the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. This weekend's schedule coming up later on. Hello and welcome to NASCAR 5. I'm your host, Bryce Turner. First up, a look back to last weekend's action at Bristol. Joey Logano won the Irwin Tools Night Race for his third win of the season. Brad Keselowski, Matt Kenseth, Jimmy Johnson, and Kurt Busch rounded out the top five. Meanwhile, Jeff Gordon continues to lead in the standings with a 27-point advantage over Dale Earnhardt Jr. Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, and Matt Kenseth round out the top five. For more post-race coverage, visit carnuts.ca and click on Closed Wheel Racing. In the Nationwide Series, Ryan Blaney won the Food City 300. Kyle Busch and Chase Elliott followed him across the start-finish line. Elliott continues to lead in the standings, 13 points ahead of Regan Smith and 30 points ahead of Ty Dillon. In the Truck Series UNOH 200, Brad Keselowski was the winner. Darrell Wallace Jr. and Ron Hornaday Jr. finished second and third. Johnny Sauter leads in the standings by 8 points over Matt Crafton and 24 points over Ryan Blaney, who is now third since Ron Hornaday Jr. was docked 10 points after his truck failed post-race inspection. It's time now for a news update. In the news, NASCAR has released the 2015 schedule for each of its top three series. Changes to the Atlanta, Darlington, and Bristol race weekends are included. More information on the schedule coming up, but first some big news relating to the Camping World Truck Series. Championship contender Ron Hornaday Jr. may be out of a ride after some turmoil at Turner Scott Motorsports. Rumors have been circulating that due to a dispute between co-owners Steve Turner and Harry Scott Jr., the team would shut down. Scott released a statement saying that the number 31 and number 32 teams of Ben Kennedy and Cameron Haley will race this weekend in Canada, while in the Nationwide Series, the number 31 and number 42 teams of Dylan Kwasniewski and Kyle Larson will race at Atlanta. Not in that picture, the number 30 truck and driver Ron Hornaday Jr. Hornaday is currently fourth in the Truck Series points. Stay tuned to NASCAR 5 for the latest on this developing story. Tony Stewart will return to his driving duties behind the wheel of the number 14 Chevy on Sunday. This will be the first race for Stewart since Pocono earlier this month. Tony is 26th in points and would need a waiver from NASCAR in order to still be eligible for the chase. Now back to our top story. Here's a look at some highlights of the 2015 NASCAR schedule. The Atlanta race weekend that was in September and is this upcoming weekend will now be moved back to March and will become race 2 of the Cup season. Darlington will be moved from April back to its traditional Labor Day weekend spot on the schedule. Bristol's first race of the season that was waterlogged this year will be shifted from March to April, and Phoenix, which was race 2, will now become race 4. With the new TV rights deal, there are some key races that will now air on network TV. The Daytona July race, which has in past years aired on TNT, will be broadcast on NBC, and the final three races of the season, Texas, Phoenix, and Homestead Miami, which have and this year will air on ESPN, will be broadcast on NBC in 2015. Fox, Fox Sports 1, NBC, and NBCSN are the networks that are part of the new TV rights deal. And the Nationwide Series will have the same changes as Cup for the companion races, but also Road America, which was in June, has been shifted to August. The Nationwide Championship race will now air on network TV through NBC. There are no major changes to the Truck Series schedule. Backtracking from 2015 to present time, stay tuned, this weekend's schedule is next. Here's a look at which races we'll be previewing for you next week here on NASCAR 5. The Great Clips 300 nationwide race from Atlanta Motor Speedway will take place tomorrow night. The race will begin at around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time and will air on ESPN2, TSN2, the Performance Racing Network, and SiriusXM. Qualifying will take place at 4 p.m. Eastern Time and will air on Fox Sports 2. The Camping World Truck Series Chevrolet Silverado 250 from Canadian Tire Motorsport Park in Ontario will take place on Sunday. The race will begin shortly after 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time and will be broadcast on Fox Sports 1, Speed Channel, TSN 5, the Motor Racing Network, and Sirius XM. Qualifying will take place at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow and will not be shown on TV. And the Sprint Cup Series Oral-B USA 500 from Atlanta will take place Sunday night. The race will begin at about 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time and will air on ESPN, both TSN 1 and 5 in Canada, the Performance Racing Network, and Sirius XM. Qualifying will be on deck today at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Fox Sports 1 will broadcast qualifying live, while TSN 4 will air the event at 11:30 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for watching this week's edition of NASCAR 5. I'm Bryce Turner. Enjoy the races.